Okay, and welcome back. We're doing a review on two hedge trimmers today. These are from a company called ALLOYMAN. This will be my first review for ALLOYMAN. And what we have here is basically a really big hedge trimmer and a really small hedge trimmer. Now right off the bat you're probably saying that's not a hedge trimmer. Well, it is. It is a 2-in-1. Let me show you on the end here. You can see here that you can install the little tiny hedge trimmer attachment there for really tight areas, and we'll demonstrate all this, or have it like it is there on the front. So that's the tiny one, and then here we've got the giant one. It says it's extendable to 8 feet. And I think that basically means you put the center section in or leave it out. But it's the type of thing where you would very likely just leave it in. And it's a 20-inch blade, dual action, and it's a 20 volt. And we're going to find out all the particulars about it in just a second. So let's open these boxes and take a look at them. Okay, here's what we get on, this is the little one here. And what we have is the instructions and a cable. This is just a USB cable, so it must, this tiny one must charge from USB. So over here we have, this is the small blade for moving straight forward. And then we have the little hedge trimmer blade, and it's only about 6 inches. And I'll get these out of the bags to take a better look. And then we have the main unit. And that's about it. Okay, let's get them out of the bags and take a closer look. Okay, here we go. So there's the main unit. And then here's the straight unit. And these come with little covers so that you can store them safely. Of course, if you're trying to get it off with one hand, you'll probably end up cutting yourself. There we go. And then we have the 6-inch dual action attachment and the instructions. And yep, it's a USB cable, so it's got to be a trickle charge. And I'm hoping that it's mostly charged because I've got to use it today, and we'll find out. But there we go. So these just clip in and change out easily, and the little gizmo in there locks into this little gizmo and makes them work, just to be technical. Anyway, so there's a look at that one, and we'll demonstrate that in just a second. And now let's open up that big box and take a look at that one. Okay, here we go. So it's separated now. Let's get this part out. And so I'm guessing what you can do is you can just put the end right on, oh, we'll figure all this out in a second. I'm going to put this way down on the ground. And then there is the hedge trimmer part of it. The actual head that has the motor in it. Just go ahead and take that out of the bag right now. Okay, looks like it knows it's being filmed. There we go. So there is a look at the hedge trimmer end, and it's got the motor in this part of it. And this is articulating, so you can, I'll explain that in a moment later on. And it also has a cover. So there's our first look at it. Dual action, the openings are about 3/4 of an inch. So that should mean that it'll cut branches that thick. And here we have the instruction manual. There's no USB cable, so my hopes are that it is a, yep. So it is a standard charger, and then you have two of the 20 volt batteries. Okay, so at this point we go and check out how much charge is in them and charge them up so that we can use this. Okay, so here we are over at the charging area, and I'm noticing here, I didn't notice out there in the sun, is that they've got these little meters on them. You can tell how much charge they have. And straight out of the box, straight out of the mail, 4 out of 4 bars. So I don't necessarily have to charge them right now, but I will anyway. If you're wondering, they look like they're made for a slide-in charger, but there is no slide-in charger. So you look for, it comes with the regular one, so you look for that little hole there. It's right there. You plug it in there. And I am getting a red light, so it's doing something. The red light is up on the charger itself. So it's doing a little bit of peak charging. It's mostly charged, but it'll just finish it out. Okay, good. Now moving on to the little one. Okay, so this one has the USB charger. We've got the little USB end. The other end is plugged into the outlet up there, the USB end. And it looks like we've got a key here. This is a safety key. Plug that in there. See if it has any charge at all. Straight from the box. Yep, it's got a charge, but I will plug it in anyway. Plug is right there. Let's see if we can find any indicator lights anywhere. Yep, we've got a red indicator light, which probably means that it needs to charge. So we'll leave these charging up, and then we'll go use them. Okay, so here we are back with the larger unit, and we're about to put it together. There are 2 pieces. It's not rocket science. Look here. You are going to put this piece in this piece. Let's do that. Okay, I left that last clip in there just to demonstrate what might happen to you. There's probably illustrated instructions on this, but let me explain why that's not going on. Right here. The cap. Okay. Works much better now. So this clip, I guess we'll go to a wider angle and check all that out. Okay, let me explain these 2 clips here. As it turns out, this one is not for telescoping. It's just a clip to make this connection hold on better. And then this one is for the telescoping. And I'll bring the camera out wider to show you that. Okay, so now I want to show the articulation of the head. You just press this big button here, and it's on both sides. You just kind of span it. And what that's for is so that you don't have to get up on a ladder. If you're right next to a tall hedge that needs a flat top, you can just click this and bend that all the way to 90 degrees. So now what you have is the long shaft that reaches the top of the hedge, and then it'll reach over and cut it flat. And I'll demonstrate that for sure. I also wanted to show that it's got all these 15-degree increments so that if you had any other angles or a different way you wanted to hold it, you have all these options, including past straight up. Just a little bit. It will go another 30 degrees the other direction. And what that can be good for is that if you are standing up and you need to get up underneath something, you know, like the bottom of a hedge about 4 inches off the ground, you can do that without having to bend down. So that is really, really cool. Alright, so back to normal, and we're set to trim some hedges. Okay, so right in the middle of the job here, I just wanted to comment. It is really making this whole job much easier than it has been in the past. I don't even think I've been here an hour, and I've gotten all this under control. And it's so nice to not have to, I didn't even bring the ladder out. Don't have the ladder, and this is definitely one where I always use the ladder. And so to be able to reach out way over the plant, or way up to a plant, that hibiscus up there, is really, really, really handy. And it's doing just fine. It's got a good amount of power. It is very light. I have to say, I'm not getting tired at all. And I forgot to mention one thing about the handle here. If I can get this into the light. So you have right here is the black one is the safety. You got to press that to pull the trigger right there. And then this one here, you press to be able to twist the handle if you feel like you can get another grip. And it looks like it's the same thing, increments of 15 degrees. Something that I don't usually use, but it is an option. Just wanted to mention that that was there. And it also did have a carrying strap on it, but I took it off. Now, if you were looking at this bush over here, when I was doing that one, you were seeing it wasn't quite getting them all, and I had to go in with some electric loppers to finish it off, and that is because they're super thick. That's an inch, and it was past the limit that the hedge trimmer can do. Just wanted to mention that. So I mean, some of these are real big, and so I had to use loppers. Just wanted to point that out. And so what I'll do now is I will finish up this job, and then we'll show it doing something else somewhere else, or move on to the little ones, the little trimmers. Okay. By the way, we are still on the first battery. It has 2 battery packs, as you saw when we were unboxing, and it has done all this trimming on the first battery. Haven't gotten the second battery out yet. When you press the light, it shows 4 bars. I think that would be impossible, so I'm not sure if that's an accurate reading, but it is not slowing down, so that might be right. But that is an awful lot of trimming to not be showing any decrease in battery. So just want to mention, still on the first battery, real good. Okay, so definitely very impressed with the pole trimmer. I've closed it up again, and we're moving on to the smaller trimmer, the 6-inch, they're calling it a shrubber, 6-inch hedge trimmer. And I have put the regular hedge trimmer attachment in there, and I will take a moment to show how that attaches. And so we'll be demonstrating both of them, the little hedge trimmer and then the other hedge trimmer. I don't know if they have different names, but they are showing them on the box, both doing hedge trimming. So I think one of them is for the very small leaf type. Anyway, let me take a moment to show how these things attach. Okay, so here we go. I'm sure you've figured out that these 2 little things release it. And then what you have to do when you're attaching it is, you see that little hole there has to line up with this. Oh, and then there's an insert there that inserts into the slot on the yellow part. So I guess you would put it in at an angle like that. And then I didn't get it all the way in there. There we go. And then click. And then you got it. Then you press your trigger and you're good to go. So let's demonstrate this one, and then we'll demonstrate that one. Okay, well, it did just fine. I would have to say that if you've just gone from the other hedge trimmer to this one, you'll notice that the openings aren't quite as wide, and so it doesn't go quite as fast. But what you are gaining is an extremely lightweight, very, very easy to handle little tiny hedge trimmer that you can do all the little curves with no problem whatsoever, and even get up underneath there very easily. Whereas something on a larger hedge trimmer might be a little bit more difficult to make it round, especially if you're getting into an even smaller bush, which is what we're about to do here. And we're going to put the other attachment on there and see what it does. Okay, so that was a very different experience. I've never actually used a hedge trimmer that goes forward like that. It's always like side to side swiping. And it works. It definitely works. You're able to concentrate. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you left one there, and so I'm going to get it. There we go. Alright, so now we can... really pretty neat. And the openings on this one, try to get it to a spot where you can see, the openings on this one are really big. Okay, that pretty much wraps up this video for these ALLOYMAN hedge trimmers, the two of them. This little one, I gotta say, this was a unique experience. I've never used one of these little tiny one-handed handheld super light maneuverable ones, and it certainly has its uses. It is very, very, very portable and very, very light. But if you've got a big job, you want to get the big one. As I had mentioned, this one is closed up. When you open it up, it is the 8 feet long, like you saw in the previous scenes. And I must say, I'm really impressed. I'm looking forward to making more videos with these. But that wraps it up for the review. I'm going to have the link to the website where you can buy it. I think it's probably also on Amazon, so there might be 2 links. And it'll also be in the top pinned comment. Check it out. I gotta say, it's pretty good. All right, appreciate y'all watching, and have a good one.